And yeah, amazing story. I think I know a little bit about it,
Yeah.
and I think you're really brave to share it here with us.
Thank you.
So thank you.
So, yeah, this is a big step for me because I'm really not used to opening up, especially not about my emotion or vulnerable side. So this is also like a practice for me to open up about myself. What I'd like to talk about is healing, because in psychiatry they don't like to talk about healing, they talk about recovery, because they don't believe in healing. Yeah, there are a lot of ex-patients who talk about healing and feel they heal themselves. And I am one of them, and I would like to talk about what it means to me. So, when I look back on my life, I started like when I was born. I have oxygen. I didn't have enough oxygen, so I was completely purple. And when I was a little child, I was not easy for my parents. I was really busy all the time, and I didn't have any respect for authority or rules. And my parents didn't know how to cope with it at all, because they were raised, if the child is not obeying your rules, you punish the child. And I think that counts for a lot of people in the Netherlands especially. So yeah, I was treated the same way. When I do something bad, I was punished. And yeah, I was really naughty child, but at the same time, I was really sensitive as well. So I have a lot of dreams, a lot of experience that were really strange, and I like to talk about it with my mother. I was really young, but she had no clue what I was talking about. So she thought, oh, maybe she's looking for attention or something. So I was not taking seriously at all, and it made me felt really alone, and also frightened, because I didn't understand what happened to me. Um, and after, I think I was like 7 years old, and then I started to communicate with a voice in my head. And it was a really friendly voice, really nice. And he helped me cope with the world around me, actually. Because at that time, my world was not easy for me. My father had a business at home, and that was really stressful for him. So sometimes he got really angry, really upset. And my mother didn't know how to cope with that at all. So when he got really angry, she really closed down. So I didn't get comforted by my mother when something like that happened. And that made me more frightened and even. And next to that, my eating habits were really, really bad. There was little food I really liked, so I didn't eat a lot, and then I could become really skinny as well. So I was not a healthy child. I was really stressed a lot of times, and I was ill a lot because of that as well. And there was no doctor who understood why I was ill so many times, you know. Yeah. And then, but oh yeah, I want to say it's not all bad, by the way. It seems like my parents maybe are really bad people, but they're not. They're really loving, good people. They really tried their best, but they just didn't know how to cope with me. And they also didn't understand why I was ill, for example. So they did try, but yeah, I can imagine it's really hard for them as well. And then I was 12 years old, and suddenly I became very ill. So I have a really high fever, and I cannot walk anymore. I cannot stand under the shower on myself. And the doctor came, and he thought about Pfeiffer disease, so the kissing disease. But it was not shown in my blood, actually. But yeah, we couldn't find any other explanation, so we just accepted it. And after 2 weeks I got better. So I just went to school, and then slowly my world became different. I noticed that everything slowed down and also became more silent, like it was closing in on me. It was a really strange feeling. And after a year I became psychotic, and I really, and suddenly I was thinking, I'm about to die. And I just know it was going to happen. And it was really strange feeling, because it was so strong and I really believed it as well. And because of my school, I did very well because I was closing down so much. I went to another school, and then I started to summon ghosts with a good friend of mine. And first it was like fun, it was like a game, but slowly it became an obsession for me, an addiction even. So I did it lots of time, and also by myself in my room. And after a while, I started talking to the ghost in my head. I had a really long conversation with them, and slowly they faded away, and it became one person, and it was the devil. And then the devil was strange because didn't feel like evil, or I didn't feel frightened of it. It was really comforting actually, somehow. I don't know why. And then he ordered me, or no, he asked me to sacrifice my blood to him. So I did that. I cut in my toe. I don't know why, my toe. But anyway, I did it, and I sacrificed my blood. And it was like making contract with him somehow. And after that, I cut myself many times in my arm, and nobody knew about it. Because yeah, I know what their reaction would be, that I would be crazy, of course. That I could still understand. So I tried to hide it, but yeah, it became, the longer it went on, the more confused I become. And I think I was 14, and I was on the schoolyard, and my schoolmate asked me to cut in my arm because he knew about it. And he had got a razor blade with him, so I did it. I was on the schoolyard, I just cut my arm, and it didn't stop bleeding, so yeah, I was in trouble. Everybody knew about it then. And my sister was on the same school, so she told my mother. And my mother took me to the psychiatrist. And I had many conversations with them, but yeah, they didn't help me at all actually. And in the meantime, I met some people, and they were interested in the same stuff I was interested in, and it was occultism. So, and I slowly find out it was a cult, and the cult leader, he knew about I was treated, and he told me this is dangerous because if they found out how you think, you will be confined for the rest of your life. You will be in big trouble. So I was really frightened of it, and then he teach me how to behave normal, like in a normal way, and I could. So everybody thought, oh, Charlotte is doing really well, and my parents and the doctor, and yeah, they told me you don't have to come back anymore. So I didn't, and as time went on, I got deeper and deeper into the cult, and that was really bad for me because. Yeah, it was in my puberty, and in your puberty your identity is in development, you know. But my identity could not develop because I was completely dependent on the cult leader. He decided how my thoughts were going to be. He decided all my actions, so that was really bad. And then I was 21, and I decided to quit alcohol and smoking weed just like that. I was somehow so fed up with it, and then it was like I woke up. Suddenly I realized, what am I doing here actually? This guy is manipulating me a lot. He's taking me over. So then I realized, and me and my ex-husband, we decided to leave, and we did. And it felt so good. I felt I was liberated and I was free, and I was so incredibly happy because of that. But what I did not realize, I was thrown just like that into a completely different world, with different rules, with different people, and I just did not know how to behave in a different world like that. So after a few months I got psychotic again because of that. I was so anxious, and that lasted for 9 months, and I went to an alternative healer, and she told me to use a magnesium supplement. And after a while I felt better, so I decided I'd go back to work again, and everything went really well. I worked for 2 years, and after a while I got promoted, so I was really happy because of that. But the promotion was such a big difference, and I got so many new responsibility, I could not handle it anymore again. So again I got psychotic, and I had to leave my job. And at that time I was thinking, okay, I go back to psychiatry again. I go to the professional now, and I really going to handle this in a good way, once and for all. And then I can leave it behind me, go have a really healthy, normal life. That was my plan. So I went to psychiatry, and like almost immediately they talk about medication, but I really told them I really don't want any medication. So I got therapy, but the therapy was so confronting with myself, and I couldn't handle it at all. It was really, really frightening for me. So it made everything worse, and I could not handle it anymore. And there was a point I was so deep, and then they offered me medication again, and then I accepted. And I was so low, I could accept anything anybody offered me, because the only thing I wanted was to get out. So I took the medication, and it started with 1 pill, and in a period of 6 years I tried 17 kind of medication, 17 different kind of medication, because it only got worse. I got more anxiety, I got more depression, and okay, we try another antipsychotic, we add antidepressant, we add tranquilizer, and that was really bad. And after 6 years and a lot of spending time in hospitals, I took like 5 or 6 different kind of medication, and I couldn't do anything anymore. I couldn't drive my car. When I tried to drive my bike, I just fell down like that. I couldn't watch TV, I couldn't read a book. So basically my life was over. I have no friends anymore, only my family. And I thought, if I have to do this the rest of my life, like another 60 years or something, I really cannot do it anymore. And I was so exhausted of fighting and having no perspective on another life that I decided to kill myself. So I contacted the foundation and asked them if they could help me with it. And they told me they could. But first, have a conversation with my parents about it and with my doctor. Okay, so I agreed. And then my doctor, he told me about electroconvulsive therapy. If I want to try that before I could decide to kill myself. I said, yeah, okay, why not? Because I was fed up with everything anyway. So I didn't care at all. So I just did it. And after 6 treatments, suddenly the world changed overnight. It was like from a nightmare to a dream. That was really, really strange for me. But also really beautiful, like waking up suddenly. Incredible feeling. And then the doctor told me, you have to take Cyprexa again. It's an antipsychotic, really strong one. And I told him I'd rather die than take it again, because then I realized what the medication did to me, and it made me an anxious zombie for many, many years. So I didn't take it, but I became manic again and psychotic, because for the electroconvulsion therapy I had to quit all my medication within 2 weeks. That's really fast. Yeah, and you get withdrawal symptoms, and that includes psychotic symptoms. So that's what I got as well. And I was really happy, but I could not cope with any negative emotion. Also because I never learned really how, but also I did not practice it for many, many years. Many years I was just lying in my bed all day. So I didn't practice anything. And suddenly I have to cope with negative emotion. There was just too much. So then I attempted to commit suicide with many alcohol, with many pills, and my mother drove me to the hospital. She found it out. In the hospital, they really thought I was going to die. I was there. I was laying in bed for something like a week. And in the end of the week, I was feeling I'm about to die. I feel my body getting cold. I feel like I'm going out of this world. And I don't remember this, but I told the nurse, I have visions of the heaven and Mother Mary. And the next day I woke up, and suddenly my body was healing again. And the doctor could not believe it. He never saw something like that. He told me my liver was so damaged that usually they do a liver transplant. But my liver just began to heal again. And not only my body healed, but somehow I felt my intuition was so strong, incredibly strong. And I really felt I must do this myself. So the time when I got released from the hospital, I immediately called them and I told them I do want to, how do you say, unsubscribe, or I don't want to have any treatment of you anymore. And luckily they let me go. I was really happy about it. And but after 6 months, all my symptoms keep coming back. So I got really bad anxiety, I got panic attacks and everything. And it was really hard making contact with people around me. I was so frightened. And then I decided to start meditation. And after 1 month, there was such a big difference, incredible. Suddenly I felt calmness inside myself I never felt before. And joy. I was so happy. And I started to read about good food, good diet, so I changed my diet as well. And I went cycling, and I quit smoking, and I drank really less alcohol. So those were really good things. And I felt slowly I was getting stronger. I was building a foundation inside myself that I felt really good with it. And after a while, I finally found a good therapist that could help me outside the normal psychiatry. And she taught me such valuable lesson. I really could heal myself, because she told me, you have an inner child, and when you feel upset, when you feel sad, you need to comfort them. It's really important. So I did that. I learned it, and then I understand I can heal myself. Actually, I can give myself the love that I need. And slowly that was getting bigger and bigger, and it was really, really strong and powerful feeling. And let's see what I want to say. I'm not there yet. This was 6 years ago now. I still have sometimes trouble connecting to people. or talking about my emotion. Those are things I really still, I'm learning still. And I'm really happy with my boyfriend. He really, I'm really nice to talk with him. I can tell him everything, and he really shows me how to talk about these things in a good way. So I'm really grateful for that. And also, I have really good people around me, good friends, and they're really supportive. And but I feel I can grow now in this because I've healed something inside of me. I do have a foundation, and I can build something on that foundation. And I could not do that before because it was not strong enough, you know. So yeah, for me that's the difference between healing and recovery. Yeah. So that was my story.
Thank you very much.
Mogen we nu gaan tappen?
Ja, we willen even tappen.
So, anybody question maybe?
No, just a lot of respect for the way you told it.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
really, yeah, a lot of guts to travel. Thank you.
If you
That's why we
say,
clapped also.
Yeah.
if you say that it's hard for you to talk about your emotion, it didn't look like.
Me? Oh yeah. I'm really shaking. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, wow. I'm also really impressed by your story.
Thank you.
To hear it like this. Yeah, also deep respect. Thank you. We're gonna have a little break, a little drink, and a little shake off. And yeah.
10 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. That's a good idea. And then
Then
Marij
I will
will
continue.
Yeah.
So we go to commercials now.